Hi, and welcome back to EFL Talks. We're here now with Louise Potter. Louise Potter is a teacher trainer with Teaching Education out in Brazil. And Louise is also a writer and one of my colleagues in something coming up in the near future regarding business English. And Louise, thanks for being here today.
Thank you, Rob. It's a pleasure to be back for my third EFL talk.
Great, and we're very lucky to have you. So without further ado, I'll let you introduce yourself and get going. Here's your slides, and take it away.
Thank you very much, Rob. So, as Rob has said, my name is Louise Potter. I'm originally from London, but now I live here in Brazil, which I love. And I'm a teacher trainer. It's something that I love doing. And actually, I love teaching. And the topic today will be collaborative learning. Okay, so I don't know how many of you actually work collaboratively, because I think today it's a very difficult word for us to be talking about, especially in the chaos that we're living nowadays. But anyway, I'm a fan of WH questions. I'm always asking why, who, what, when, which, etc. And I do the same thing with collaborative learning. So our first question, I think, should be the first question would be, what is collaboration? Okay? And collaboration means working together, which I think people have kind of lost they don't know how to do that anymore. We don't know how to work together. The world has become very individualistic. So one of the next questions I would ask is, who are we teaching? Okay? So we are teaching these little guys, okay, K-12 students. They are very individualistic nowadays. They're very connected, but connected in the sense of social media, because they're not connected face-to-face, okay? They are very visual, okay? They learn through technology, okay? They're very educated in the sense of they have access to education, but they're not really well-mannered, I would say. And these are the students that we are teaching. So the thing is, we have to change the way we are teaching them, because they see everything through their own device, which is a little screen, okay? So I think it's very important that we understand that we have to change the way we are teaching them, okay? Because they are learning this in a different way, so we have to teach in a different way. And in order to do that, our desire to change has to be greater than our desire to stay the same, which I have seen in the classrooms. I've seen teachers trying to be less teacher-centered, but they still haven't understood the concept, what it is to be a teacher-centered and what it is to be student-centered. So we have to shift from this teacher-centered to student-centered. And how do we do that? Okay. And I think collaborative learning is one of the ways. Okay, only one of the ways, because there are many different ways, but I think it is one of the ways. So when we think about our students, they do like to interact, okay, but not the way that we want them to interact, or not the way that we want them to learn. So we have to teach them social skills and emotional skills. They lack that nowadays, okay? As they're so linked to the technology, I think they have lost a little bit the ability to interact, okay? So when we think about it, let's think about two different concepts, okay? Cooperative learning and collaborative learning. These terms are used a lot interchangeably, but there are a few differences, okay? When we talk about cooperative learning, which is, I think, what we mostly do in the classroom, okay? Because we do group work, it's more structured than collaborative learning, okay? If it is a type of collaborative learning, but the teachers have more control over it, it is teacher-centered, okay? It's individually accounted for, okay? So each individual accounted for their work. It is focused on social skills, okay? But it's a process, it's a set of processes to teach students how to work in a group. When we talk about collaborative learning, it's basically the same, but it happens at any time, at any place, okay, which is different than cooperative learning, which usually happens inside the classroom. Okay, the collaborative learning works on problem solving, which you use the higher thinking, higher order thinking skills, which would be, let's say, creative. You're being creative, you're analyzing, you're evaluating, you're criticizing. Okay, things that our students do need to learn nowadays. Okay, so it focuses on social skills, it's teacher-centered, it's student-centered, just as cooperative learning. And it's one of the basic elements for project-based learning, which I'm a great fan of, although it is very difficult to work in a classroom. But if you do it properly, it really, the outcome is very positive for our students. Okay? So then when we think about it, about collaborative, cooperative learning, we have 5 basic elements which are very important to keep in mind. Okay? The first one is positive interdependence. What does that mean? What does it mean to be interdependent with your students? It means that, you know, they depend on you and you depend on them. So the group depends on each other in order to have a positive outcome for their group work, which is very important for them to learn. The next element is face-to-face interaction. Okay? As I said, students nowadays, they are great at interacting on social media. You know, you see amazing things happening in, you know, Facebook, etc. But they do not actually know how to interact face-to-face. They do not respect each other. Okay? The next element is individual accountability. Okay, so students, the teacher has to set up a whole rubric so the students know exactly when they're being assessed, how they're being assessed, if they're being assessed. Okay, so they're being assessed the whole time. Okay, 24/7 throughout the project. And then you have the element interpersonal group goals. Okay, so this is where the teacher, let's say, teaches the social skills and the emotional skills. So you teach the student how to work in a group, which, as I said, I think is one of the biggest problems nowadays. People do not know how to respect each other's opinion, and let's say, okay, if they don't agree, but how to disagree politely. And the last element would be group processing. So this is a very important element because the students actually say, are we working well together? Can I work with you? You know, what is the problem? Why can't I work with you? What is going wrong in our group work? Why can't we sit down and actually come to some conclusion together? Which I think is a very big issue for the students nowadays. Okay? So we have many benefits when we talk about group work and cooperative learning, collaborative learning. I think so. The first benefit is the development of the higher level thinking skills. Okay, so they learn how to criticize, how to create, how to evaluate, and how to analyze. Obviously, the oral communication is something that they have to be doing the whole time. They learn a lot of self-management and leadership skills. And again, as I've said over and over again, the promotion of the face-to-face interaction, okay, not only social media, it increases the students' retention because they're doing something, they're on task the whole time, they enjoy what they're doing, okay, they're actually working, they're not just being passive and looking at the student as the teacher and the teacher's being lecturing, which is very boring nowadays for these kind of students. We develop the social and emotional skills, and last but not least, we prepare them for real life interaction and employment situations. Because we do not work alone. We all know that. We need each other. And students need to understand that, you know, to work out there nowadays, you need to depend on your colleague or your boss or whoever. So you have to learn how to work together. Okay? But some important questions should be asked before you go into this collaborative learning in your classroom. Okay? Like in my reality, I have 30 students in the classroom. Okay, so how do I do that? So, important questions to be asked. Why am I working this way? I mean, can I work this way? In order to be a teacher who works collaboratively with your students, you have to know how to do that with other teachers. So do you? Are you a collaborative teacher as well? So how will I engage my students? You know, is it going to be important? Is it going to be relevant to them, what I'm going to talk about? How am I going to work collaboratively with them in order for them to be engaged? So how will I group my students? Am I going to let friends sit together? Am I going to group them? Am I going to use their different intelligences? How am I going to group them? Okay. How will I make sure that they're going to be productive and on task the whole time? What technology can I use? Because we do have to use technology nowadays. So which one will help me? Students can really help you with this because they know much more than we do. Okay. How will I evaluate my students? How will I evaluate the groups? How will I evaluate the individuals? So all this needs to be taken into account. Okay. So I believe that collaborative learning is the way to go. I use it, but definitely it's not easy. Okay. At first, the teacher does have to work a lot. I've done, many gone wrong many ways, but I think it is the best way to go. Okay. So thank you very much. Rob has already appeared to tell me to disappear. So I'll be leaving you for the next EFL talker. Thank you very much, guys. Nice to be here again.
Thanks so much, Louise. That was wonderful, as always. And again, if people want more information, they can reach you at Teaching Education. Check on the EFLtalks.com site, and the links are there for your email and for your website.
Thank you very much, Rob. It was a pleasure to be here again.
Thank you. We'll talk soon.
See ya. Bye, everybody.
Bye.